In this episode of Samurai Jack, Jack has a very wacky and strange experience, more so than what he usually goes through. For in this experience, Jack falls into Wonderland, or at least Samurai Jack's universe's version of it. See, when Jack in this episode he was fighting off a monster in the swamp, he got away, but now he was filthy, so he went to go take a little bit of a wash, clean himself up. But as he was washing, he put his clothes and sword to the side, which then vanished when he was all done. And he saw that a rabbit had stolen them and was going down a hole with them. Now, this rabbit was white, so right off the bat, you should be getting the indication like, okay, this is something like Alice in Wonderworld or something like that going on. And Jack, of course, he follows the rabbit down, the rabbit hole. And what he finds is a very strange world that seems to be completely untouched by Aku's influence, that's completely its own reality. It's just completely alien world what Jack has experienced so far in this Aku future. As Jack's going through, he has no clothes, so what does he do? He runs into a cat burglar, steals his clothes, steals his goods, and he goes out in search for his bunny that had stolen his stuff. Now, the people that were chasing the cat burglar identify Jack and start chasing Jack. Jack has to run away before he gets caught by these people. And thankfully, there's a taxi cab driver that sounds like a man from India that's willing to help him. He's like, "Oh yes, please come in. I'll help you out. Please come again." He has this whole spiel. I'll put a little bit down here for you just to listen to.
It seems that I have another customer. Thank you, sir. Come again. Please take a number. If we don't take off soon, I think you'll be forced to share my taxi services.
Now, for me, I personally like that scene that he went through. They had to get away after Jack gets rid of all the cats that he was literally cat burgling. And as they're flying away, a strange pixie elephant man comes by, just completely random, doesn't have anything else to do with the story, but it's just really this odd aspect of the story. Because at this point, when you see that coming by, you're like, okay, is Jack high? Is he just hallucinating? Because that's what happened to Alice in Alice in Wonderworld. She was just a hallucination, if I remember correctly from the story, that she just wakes up underneath the tree. She thought it was all real, but really it was just a dream. So is Jack just having a very crazy dream at the moment? No, he's not, but I like that they put that in there that makes you think that at least a little bit. Now, is it intentional? No, it's just something goofy the animators put in, but I personally like to think that they just add that in there just to help the people who know the story along, like, oh, okay, maybe this is just a kind of a weird dream he's having. Now, as they're flying along, Jack spots the rabbit rushing into a building, so he hops out of the air balloon that he's on, or whatever contraption he's riding in, and he goes off and searches for the bunny. Now, where he ends up is a changing room, and he's searching for the rabbit, but he's not having any luck, and he's about to leave when all of a sudden the mob that was chasing him before arrives. Now, Jack, wanting to get away from him, quickly changes clothes from his burglar outfit into a princess outfit, and is able to slip by the mob, thankfully. Unfortunately for Jack, though, there's a play that's going on that requires the princess to show up, and he's grabbed and ushered out onto the stage, and he has to struggle through a scene. It's kind of funny. In my opinion, I thought it was pretty hilarious, and he doesn't necessarily do the best job, sadly. He does the best he can, but it's a romantic scene with the Red Queen, or I guess in this case it'd be the Red King at this point. I'm actually not quite sure what this individual is. It's a man that's speaking royally, but they have to wait for a hero to go slay the dragon that's coming out that looks exactly like Aku. Well, Jack, due to his, I guess you could say maybe PTSD or need to act as soon as he sees something that looks like Aku, immediately grabs the king's staff, goes forward to slay the beast. Well, all he does is just ends up being the guy that's inside of it, which causes the dragon to collapse and people to start crawling out. Now, at this point, just like, oh, shoot, I made a mistake. But before he can really get too embarrassed by it, he sees that the rabbit is just leaving the theater, so he quickly leaves the stage to chase after it. And as he does, the actual prince supposed to slay the dragon arrives. So it's just a nice little bit of tomfoolery that happens there. Now, Jackie chases the rabbit all around town until they get to a train. Jack tries to get onto the train, but a couple girls stop him, start ripping at his dress. Like, oh, what kind of parents of these girls have that just immediately, like, they see your stuff and start ripping away your stuff. Now, this reminds me of the Cinderella part where her stepsisters just, like, starts tearing off her sashes, her beads, all her clothing, just to leave her a wreck. So that's kind of the indication got here. But these girls left him to the point where it's just him in, like, a skirt at this point. He just doesn't have any clothes. He's just completely bare to the world. And, of course, the peace officers around him are like, oh, whoa, you can't be half naked, my man. Gotta stop him. So they start rushing after him, causes a whole scene there. Jack, he's able to get away onto the train, thankfully. But it doesn't go quite as planned, because every time he gets close to the bunny, something comes up. Either it's another police officer that's coming by, or he has to go take shelter inside the front of the train, and then put on the train conductor's outfit so they don't recognize him. And then by having put on the train conductor's outfit, he knocked the dude out. He's now had to run the train. And these trains are a little bit weird. The best way I can describe them is just a crazy roller coaster ride, because apparently they don't just stay on the tracks. They can also fly into the air and do a whole bunch of crazy somersaults. Jack tries to save the train. He tries to fly it well, but it doesn't end well for him. After a crazy ride, he does end up eventually crash landing the train. Thankfully, no one dies, at least no one that we can see. We know at least Jack survived and the bunny, because when Jack gets out of the train, he sees that the tracks are leading down into a deep hole, down to where the bunny lives. So Jack eventually gets there, and when he finds the bunny, he picks it up, demanding that it return his sword and kimono to him. But the bunny doesn't speak. Instead, the bunny is attached to a little girl who is saying that it's in my backpack. Just let me go, okay? And Jack's like, wait, you're not a bunny? Like, what's going on here? She's like, no, I'm just a homeless girl. Now, let me go. I'll give you your stuff back. So she gives Jack his stuff back, and she explains to Jack that, due to her being homeless, she was just hoping to sell them off to make some money. And she mentions that if she only had some tusks from a monster, she could then sell those and live off that for a while. And Jack's like, remembering that he had just defeated a monster in the beginning of the episode, goes back to the swamp, fishes out the tusks, and hands them to the girl, who then are able to use those to live off of. So pretty much a whole happy ending going on here. At the very end, we do see that Elf and Fairy show up. I don't really know why. Maybe it's just a wink and a nod towards just the craziness of Alice in Wonderworld. But that was the journey of Samurai Jack in Alice in Wonderworld. Now, for me, I have to say, probably my favorite part is actually the very beginning, when Jack takes on the burglar's clothes and he is taking on the whole identity. Like, come on, Jack, what are you doing? You're just going to leave a man naked? Like, you never even return the clothes to the man. Like, I know it's a kid's show, and kids are not going to be processing that probably all that well, but you're just like, wait, no, you're just leaving the cat burglar without any clothes on? Also, a cat burglar? Like, okay, I do love that they actually literally made him a cat burglar. Like, for me, I personally do love that. That it's just a little bit silliness that I still appreciate in my cartoons. So I would say, I have to say that's a whole stretch of my favorite part, and probably my favorite phrasing is the Indian car driver just like, oh, it doesn't go. I might have to pick up another customer. I have another one. I do a horrendous job with the pronunciation. I'll throw up one of the shorts on YouTube in a little bit, but I have to say that's probably one of my favorite parts of just him going through the motions and just talking about that. So, yeah, that's just my review for this episode. A decent enough episode. If you've seen Alice in Wonderland, you would appreciate it. You'll see the themes that's going on here, make the correlations. But if you haven't, more of just a wacky, fun episode. Doesn't really mean too much. Even for Jack at the end of the episode, it's just like, this is the strangest world I've ever been. So I've enjoyed it. I thought it was a good job, but I don't know. You guys let me know what you thought below. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know. Was this a good episode? Was it kind of too wacky for your liking? I look forward to hear what you guys got to say. Catch y'all later. See you on the next one. Bye.